What is up, crew? Welcome to another episode of Seek the Edge podcast, where our goal, our mission is to challenge you outside of your comfort zone so you can see and understand the God-given potential inside. And I am beyond excited because I have my training partner. I don't even call you a client anymore, a friend, somebody that I've been really blessed to grow with over the last few years. And I've seen this girl be hesitant stepping into a weight room to now stepping into it, honestly, before me every single morning. And like, you own it. And so Ashley Amicon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was really nice.
Of course.
I will say it's been quite a journey with you, starting and then. Like, I think I said it the other day with the DC. I was like, it's really kind of cool to get to know you outside of the gym atmosphere.
I was joking around this night. Was it last night? No, it was Sunday. Oh my gosh,
No,
that was yesterday. Oh,
was
yesterday was Sunday. Okay, see how much time goes by. But I was joking with you, like, man, that was such a good compliment of you saying that I was a cool person outside of the gym. I felt so good about myself.
Well, we don't ever really get to spend time. I mean, we spend good quality time in the gym. Mm-hmm. We work out, but, and we have good conversations, but we don't get to know each other outside of the gym and just be in an atmosphere, just hanging out.
We scooted all. Well, to give context to people, we just did High Rocks. Mm-hmm. You kicked some butt. I don't want to start there yet. I'm going to pull us back a little bit. So you and I met a couple years ago. It was actually end of 2022, and we're recording this in 2025, so about 3 years ago, which is crazy to think about. And you've had your own health and fitness journey. You're a mom of 3. Yep. Under what age?
10, 8, and 5.
10, 8, and 5. Mom of 3. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of different workouts at home, started your journey there. And then that's when you're just kind of thinking the next level. You're like, I made a lot of progress, kind of plateaued a little bit, and you're ready for that next step. And then now, I mean, we're in the gym 5 days a week, 5:15, 5:30 sometimes a.m. And you've grown not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, like all the ways. Mm-hmm. So what are 2 things that you've learned about yourself over the last 3+ years?
Ooh, the biggest one is I am more capable than I thought I was. And it's not just a physical aspect. Mentally, you have to start somewhere. And I was like, okay, physically, I like to push myself. But that turned into, well, you got to mentally push yourself as well.
Have you always been like that? Or did you go through a period of time where it wasn't like that?
Ooh. I do think that there were times when I was scared to push myself. I didn't know what that next level was. So I thought me in my own terms of being like mediocre, I'm comfortable and I'm good with that. But no, I don't think I always had a competitive side. I'm very competitive.
We know that.
You know that.
Us doing lunges this morning.
But I think there were some times, it wasn't like that. Yeah. But majority of the time, especially now that I'm older and I know the benefits of pushing myself, I do it almost in everything. Everything is a competition in a healthy way. I think you and I, push each other really well too. And then I think I would say the other thing that I've found is I'm not just doing it for myself. I've realized the impact I can have, at least on other people, but more so like my kids. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I want her to know what it's like to push yourself, and you're strong and capable. And society, can have a really odd way of trying to keep you in a certain way of what society thinks you should be. And stepping out of that and being okay with yourself. I don't have to be like everybody else. And so I think that's the 2 things. I'm sure there's probably more, but the 2 that are popping in my head.
When you shared that last part with Callie, your daughter, you both did one of the lifting competitions about a year ago. And there's a picture of you 2 where, I mean, yes, you're flexing and all that, but she's given you the biggest hug after you hit the PR. And she just came up and just like bear hugged you. Yeah. And it was so cool to see her emotion of seeing her mom do something for her, but break a belief of what she was capable of. And like you could feel her emotion and just how proud of she was of you. but then also for you to lead by example, to do something that was a little bit uncomfortable for you, and you lead by example, or every morning you're going to work out and you're still prioritizing yourself. And there's a crazy stat that I just looked up, Ash. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So there's a few of them, but it says only 14% of moms say they regularly do something for themselves. That was one study in 2023. 60% of moms feel guilty for taking time for themselves, even if it's for their own health or self-care, which is a study in 2022. I'm going. We got a few more. 66% of moms say they feel constantly exhausted and burnt out. And then the last one in 3 moms say they avoid being in photos with their kids because they're unhappy with how they look, in a study 2020, which, like, it just gets your soul.
That last one hurts.
Yeah.
That last one hurts because I think, and this is just the mom perspective of me. I mean, there was times when I, didn't feel the best, but your kids don't see you that way. Your kids don't see you as how you see yourself. Your mom, you're their safe space. They don't look at you and think, oh, how you look, and you're wearing a bikini and this and that. They don't see that. They see mom. So that last stat hurts.
Isn't that crazy?
But I relate to it in a mom way because you want to feel comfortable in yourself, but being stuck in that, you're missing out. You're missing out on times at the beach, right? Or just running through the sand or swimming or at the pool. You miss out on those moments because self-consciously you think maybe people are seeing you a different way. And it took me a long time. I think I've talked to you about this, where it was like, I never wanted to wear shorts. When I was younger, I was called Thunder Thighs.
Oh, we talked about this.
I've always been very muscular. I've always been my legs have always been very muscular. I'll just say it that way. But I took it to heart for a long time. And I very rarely ever wore shorts. I was so scared. And then getting in the gym, not that they transformed or anything, but my self-confidence and the way that I viewed myself, especially having a daughter, I was like, I'm rocking these shorts.
What shifted for you?
I'm going to...
Oh, God. She starts laughing
Listen.
before she shares this number.
I'm going to go back to what people here aren't going to see, but the meme you just showed me.
We might have to overlay it.
Listen, there was a point in the gym where I looked at myself, and it wasn't a physical appearance, aesthetic appearance. It was, I am in here doing something hard, and I'm proud of myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear them because I know what my body's capable of, even though people may not see what it's capable of because they might just be looking at the surface. I'm strong. Man, I got some strong legs, and I love them. But it wasn't until I was 38 years old to truly feel comfortable wearing shorts. Just wearing what I wanted.
Yeah.
And, I think of Callie, and I'm like, man, I want her to be comfortable. I want her to love her body because she's built just like me.
She's a little powerhouse.
She is. And, you are strong and capable, and be proud of how you look and know what your body is capable of.
Yeah. And that's what I've seen you continually do so well. And what has changed for me in the mindset with my physical body is when you see its capability versus it just be a body to look in a mirror with, there's another level of respect that you have for it. And it's a two-way relationship that instead of it being something that, okay, this, that, and I mean, we all want to look good, right? Like it's an inherent quality with us. And it's not saying to those listening, oh, you can never have a aesthetic goal, because I still have them very transparently. However, when you see what your body is capable of through the workouts that you do or the events that you do, it's just another level of respect and relationship that you have with it, that you're so proud of it versus something that you're like, oh, I don't like it, or that really negative relationship with that.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that, because you've transformed not just your physical body comp, but that relationship with it. And it's not just saying, oh, just love yourself. Like you've built that relationship. And I don't think many people talk about that nowadays, especially with the culture that we're in.
Yeah. Well, in the culture now, you know, I mean, you and I, we have 10 years apart. So what you had bringing up versus what I had bringing up, right? So I'm going to tap in a little bit just to very shortly, like some of the things that I had heard when I was growing up. And I think I just told you this last week, where growing up, it was, you know, women don't go to the gym. Girls don't go to the gym and lift. You run, right? And you eat very little. But you still participate in sports. You're still, you know, pushing your body. And you're not gaining anything out of it. You're exhausting yourself. And I remember my mom, when I was younger, would tell me, just suck your stomach in. And that, you know, at the time, I was like, oh, you know, I'll just tuck it in. But I didn't realize like that was really creating a negative impact on me. Because then I started worrying about, well, how do I look? Why would I want to do that? And that was always kind of in the back of my mind. I always had this vision of how I should look versus accepting what my body's capable of and how it is. And again, all of this kind of really transformed later in life. I think after I had Weston, my third, I was like, you know, I don't like being tired. I don't like this not being able to get on the ground and play. You know, I've always been athletic. I've always enjoyed sports, but getting to a point where visually I was like, this is not me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. I don't know. Some people always ask, like, what was that moment? And I don't know the exact moment. I would say it was just realizing I have 3 kids and I want to enjoy them and I want to be strong for them. But I also want to be 60, 70 years old and not crippled and walking around and hurting and in pain.
Getting some pull-ups with me.
Yeah. I think to myself, Kelsey's always like, you know, you want to be able to bend over and pick a box up when you're 80 years old.
Functional, baby.
Functional. You know, when you're sitting in that rocking chair.
Contemplating your life.
Listen.
Anyway, sorry.
Listen. But yeah, it kind of just stemmed from, there was obviously a moment, and I think I was at a point where I was uncomfortable being comfortable. Okay. So I just said, I'm going to do something. And I started off with, Beachbody. It was
right?
Beachbody. Yeah. Didn't get into the whole thing, but there was this workout that they had by Megan Davis who really intrigued me. I like the high intensity stuff. I really like that. And man, I stuck to it. I stuck to an eating plan. I felt great. And my mind just shifted. It wasn't that I drastically changed my body composition. At the end, yes, I did pretty well, but it was, I'm waking up. I'm driven. I'm not giving myself an out. I was disciplined. I mean, I was getting up on my own in the morning, going downstairs to work out, getting everybody ready for school and getting to work.
Were you just tired of not doing that? Because a lot of people do that for a couple days and then they'll fall off. But it sounds like from what you're sharing is you just kept up that consistency piece of it. So were you just tired of being tired? Where there's like kind of that breaking point of, all right, something has to change?
Yeah.
Or what kept that discipline going for you?
I became very, again, I'm going to use the word competitive with myself.
That's good. That's good.
I didn't allow myself to negotiate. There are times now I don't want to get out of bed. There are times I don't want to go to the gym. And there were times back then I was like, I'm in my bed and I don't want to walk down the stairs to go to the basement and lift. But I did. I didn't give myself an out. And the hardest part for me was, and I think for most people, that first 2 weeks, you don't see immediate change. You don't see immediate gratification. And it's so easy to be like, I'm not getting anything out of it. But you are. Your brain is setting up yourself to create a routine where you're going to get positive impact. And you're doing it yourself, right? So sometimes it was like me against my brain.
All the time.
I kind of always say there's like, I talk to myself quite a bit. And I don't know how to really pinpoint it, but it's almost like there's two people, right? Of course, there's that one that's like, I don't want to do this. And the other one's like, but you're going to because you don't have a choice. I'm not giving you that out. And it's hard to get to. When you want to just quit, you got to think back to that point when you were so uncomfortable, you made that decision to not be comfortable anymore. And you got to think back to how you felt at that moment. So I go back to a lot of the times, like I think I have a photo in my phone where it was the first photo I took. And I look at that and I was like, I loved my body. My body did amazing things. I grew 3 humans. But I look back at that and I'm like, this is not who I am though. This was me just being comfortable and kind of having that excuse of, oh, I had 3 kids. And yeah, I no longer allow myself to negotiate anymore. And then it's not an addiction. Like the gym is not an addiction to me. It's a non-negotiator. You don't have a choice because when I go and I leave, I have set myself up. I've already succeeded. I've already won the day because I forced myself to get over something I didn't want to do. And I've already set myself up for the day. So what do I have to lose? I've already overcome something, even if it's small, just getting up and going, or being in there and challenging yourself, whether it's, doing more weights or doing more reps or running when you don't want to. I mean, just that little mind shift in the morning, you're just like, man, I did it and I didn't want to. Let's go get the day. Yeah.
And you leave like this morning, you left, you're ready to conquer the day. And you said something in there about the 2 voices, or it's almost like 2 different personalities. And this isn't talking about like, okay, we have a multi-personality aspect of it, but I think myself included back in the day is I thought that first voice of like, oh, you don't have to do it today, or hey, just do it tomorrow, and sometimes they can be really valid reasons, but it's an excuse at the end of the day. Like we accept that voice as fact and we listen to it and we don't realize we have the ability to develop the voice to talk back to that voice. And when that changed for me, game over, because so many individuals that I talk to, it's like, well, I just am really unmotivated and I really can't. And it's like their posture change, their tone of voice changes where they feel very defeated. And it's because you're listening to yourself instead of talking to yourself. And how easy is it to accept those thoughts or those voices as fact versus I almost think of it like a badass version of Kelsey or 4.0 version. Like what would she say to it? She'd say, no, you're going to get your butt up. You're going to go drink your water, then you're going to go train. And that doesn't mean every single moment I tap into that and I'm like, oh yeah, like let's go do it. I'm still pulling myself to get in the car and go train with you in the morning. But we have to envision of like, okay, who is that 4.0 Kels? Who is that badass version of Kels? And what would she say in this scenario? And then when you align that decision with her versus old patterns that you've had, like you're literally changing how your brain operates.
Yeah.
So is that how you go through it or like think through it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, that part of you that doesn't want to push yourself. And it's, for me, the gym is my challenge, right? I mean, I have a lot of other challenges, professionally, personally, things like that. But, let's just say your challenge isn't the gym. It's work, right? You still have to take that same mindset of, like you said, 4.0 Ashley. What would she say after you did it? Look at you. You freaking accomplished this. Way to go. Wasn't as hard as you thought it was. You just had to push yourself a little bit more. And it's almost just like this version of Ashley turns on.
You can see it though when you train. I'm like, oh, that version's out. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with her.
You can, and I no longer give this any thought. You don't have a say in what I'm doing because you're not benefiting me right now.
Oh, that's so good, Ash.
Like you're not. And the way that my brain works too, through journeys with kids and some of the things we've gone through, I'm fully undiagnosed with self-diagnosing ADHD. And I think I've talked to you when it could be the smallest little thing. And again, I'll do this at home. I will try to challenge myself to get these things done in this amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like when I'm at the gym, if I'm doing reps of something and I know my brain is like, listen, you still have 4 left. And I'm like, I want to quit. I'm like, well, I'm doing 5. I'm doing 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving you that opportunity to win.
Yeah.
I'm winning. But it's me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're winning the war in your mind. That's actually a book,
Yes.
too.
Oh.
Go ahead, keep going.
No, but like, it took me a long time to be confident in myself to listen to the better version. Because it wasn't there 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. My other version was allowing me to just skate through and enjoy life the way that I thought I was. And turning that other side on, it's just, I'm not allowing I'm going to give up. This is okay. I did enough. No, I need to do more because I want to quit. Like I want to stop. Today, I did not, I forget, I don't know what it was. Oh, it was daggone.
Cable kickbacks.
God. And I'm in my head, you know, I'm working on form and I'm really focusing on muscle-mind connection. And I am shaking. My body is shaking. And I'm like, I don't think I can get this up. And I'm not going to say the whole thing, but in my head, I was like, don't be a beep. And I was like, okay. I'm at the set. I think we were doing 20.
20 each side.
And I got to 20. I was like, you got to do 2 more.
Oh,
and I'm
so
like
good.
shaking. But it was like, even it's just those little things. It's not even a big challenge, but it's that little thing because the little ones add up. The little ones give you courage. The little ones show like, hey, I am capable of this. I'm able to do hard things when it gets difficult and I'm able to surpass it. So, but it's my everyday life. It's my everyday life of small little things like that where I'm constantly challenging that inner other side of Ashley. Yeah.
I mean, it's the compound effect with it where when you compound those wins, that's when you just did a crazy high rocks race, right?
Yeah.
And you crushed it. And so people see that outcome of the high rocks race, but they don't see the compounded small wins of you overcoming yourself in workouts when it was easier to quit. But the same thing happens towards the good as it does the not so good and the bad and I've personally experienced this decently over the last couple of years when I've had more low momentum type of seasons for me is I lost that battle, meaning I didn't step up and be like, no, Kels, like you're doing another rep. Or like last week I told you I had a really good workout and you're like, I wasn't even there, so that might be why. But no. I said in my brain, I had one more set and I was doing 50 and I was complaining in my brain of, oh, I don't want to do another set. Oh, this is terrible. And I was like, no. Okay, you're gonna do 55s now because I'm not allowing myself to think those thoughts and pretend like it's okay. And people see you, Ash. I mean, when people see you in the gym, they're like, oh, she's always been like that, or hey, that's just her. And I'm like, if you would only see us 10 years ago. And so I know there's people out there listening to this and be like, man, it sounds like Ash is a badass because you are. But what would you say to them where they're losing the battle in their mind to help them take a step in the right direction towards where you're at today?
I didn't quit. I didn't give myself a chance to quit. And that's it might be easier to say right now, but that's the truth. You don't give an out to yourself. Your body is the most important thing for you. You don't have the power, the mental health, the physical health, the spiritual health. You don't have that. It's going to be, you want to live long. You want to go as far as it's a privilege to grow old. And to do that and to be healthy and happy through it, you got to push yourself and be uncomfortable. I think, 5 years ago, I wasn't the same. I was not in the gym. I was eating whatever I wanted. And I think for me to get to where I am, and I still have a lot of things to do. Man, I still have so many places and things I want to try. But to continue on this path and I'm going to go back to, I don't negotiate with myself.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, and it may be different for other people, but the gym is a non-negotiable for me. And it is not about the physical aspect. And I've had to tell a few people about this, where I don't go to the gym because I can lift weights. I don't go to the gym because there are goals that I want to do and goals that I have. I go to the gym because it is a mental workout for me. And in the beginning, it was a physical challenge. Mm-hmm. But now it's a mental challenge. I've realized when I am in the gym is where I most alter how I believe about myself, how I feel about myself, how I can challenge myself, sometimes challenge others, mm-hmm. right? It actually brings me so much joy. And I'm just going to use you as an example because we train together every day, mm-hmm. but it is so fun to like challenge you.
And you do very well though.
But it brings me so much joy because like I'm getting you out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Never would have done that in 5 years. 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been me. Mm-hmm. And it's so, like I said, the gym isn't just the physical aspect for me. Mm-hmm. It challenges me mentally. Mm-hmm. And I think I get more out of the gym mentally than I do physically.
Oh, that's for sure similar to me.
And I know some people are like, hey, the gym is like my therapy. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that because I think that can possibly create
an unhealthy
dynamic. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, I got caught up in that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, no, I have to go. I can't mm-hmm. miss it. Because I think I didn't quite get to the terms of like, this is really helping me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just so focused on the physical.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think to circle back, you can't quit on yourself, and it is so easy. And so one thing I've started doing is I tell people what I'm doing. Almost so it's not that they're holding me accountable, but the more that I've done that mm-hmm. with people, they're like, how's it going? How are you doing? Mm-hmm. So, and I guess in a slight way, they are kind of holding me accountable. Mm-hmm. But it also kind of creates an environment. They may not be doing anything that I'm doing. Yeah. But for High Rocks, I had so many people that I didn't think reach out to me on that day and was mm-hmm. like, hey, go kick butt. You got this. Good, You've trained for it, you know, and so you can't quit on yourself. Mm-hmm. No matter how easy it is, because it is so easy to quit. You just have to remember, where was that turning point for you? And when you're in that moment of, I want to quit, think back to how you felt at that mm-hmm. turning point. How you felt sitting there being comfortable, not having to do anything. And just going back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a meeting with a client a week ago, mm-hmm. and she's in a season for her over the last maybe few weeks where it was a little bit more low momentum, mm-hmm. right? Stop keeping promises to herself, and then you regain momentum from that. It's very doable to do. But she was like, Kelsey, I just feel like you have the birds chirping when you wake up, and they slowly put the covers back on you. And then they hoist you out of bed, and you go and you look in the mirror and say, you are so beautiful today. And you brush your teeth really slowly. And then they get you out to your kitchen, and you drink your water, you take your vitamins, and then you sing while you're on the way to the gym. She goes, I feel like that's what you do that's what happens every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you would talk to Ash, you know I'd be dragging my butt at 5:20, half asleep in the gym. One shoe, hobbling in. But I share that story to say you just have to not give up on yourself. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not, it ain't pretty. Mm-mm. If you would see me in the morning, I am half asleep sometimes.
Sometimes makeup
Sometimes we got some makeup slur. And then I go to the bathroom, I'm like, you didn't tell me, Ash. But that's the magic key. There ain't no magic key besides that of just you not giving up on yourself.
Just show up for yourself.
Yeah. And there's nothing sexy about it. And that's why Instagram can make you feel like all these people that you're seeing and they're working out every day, like, ooh, it's just so good. Or they must just wake up and they're so excited. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. But this also begs, Ash, the conversation of there's push energy and then there's pull energy. So a lot of times when you first get started, it can be fitness journey, starting a business. You just want to get out of wherever you were, that discomfort, that I just don't feel good in my body, or I don't like the job that I'm in. And so you're getting pushed, like it's like you're pushing to get away, okay? And usually that's what will start change, because I wish it could be, oh, I just wake up and want to be a better version. But a lot of times that's not the case. A lot of times you're just so tired of being sick and tired that people have to get to, I don't want to say rock bottom, but they have to get to a point where they're just tired of feeling the way that they do. Yeah. And so that elicits some change first. Doesn't have to be, but a lot of people, that's where they need to be. I know it was true for me. But this is what is really cool with you, and it's really cool with the evolution of eventually you start to get pulled by that next level version of you. Yes, there's still some mornings you're like, shoot, I just don't want to go back to where I came from. But majority of times now it's, okay, who is Ash 4.0? Okay, I'm excited to uncover another level of me. Okay, I'm excited to seek another edge of my comfort zone. And now you're getting pulled, which can feel a lot better than you kind of pushing through. Doesn't mean it gets any easier sometimes. But that's what I want people to hear when they're hearing you too, is you're going to have to push for a little bit. And it's going to suck, and you're going to put one foot in front of the other. But eventually when you get your head above water, now you can start to see and think and feel, well, who is that 4.0 version? What does she do? What does she not do? Who does she surround herself with? Who is she a part, like what community is she a part of? And then you start making decisions based on her, and you get excited versus frustrated to not go back. Does that hit home with you?
Yes. Yeah.
Talk to me.
Well, I remember Ashley 1.0. Yeah. And I remember Ashley 2.0. I don't know what 0.0 I am now, but we'll just go with 4.
We got new levels, baby.
Listen, I will tell you, the pool for me right now, you know, just doing high rocks, oh my gosh, I'm on such a high. Yeah. It's not because of high rocks. But I look back to the last 3 months. I mean, we trained 3 months for this.
Which is not that long in the grand scheme.
No. Well, it felt long.
Yeah, it did feel long.
It was a lot of running. But I got pulled. Oh, I got so pulled. That makes sense. But
no, it makes sense.
It wasn't high rocks that pulled me. It was the training and the different types of things I was forced to do. And then even breaking it down more macro level than that, within each of the training days that we would do, I was being pulled every day to do harder things or to challenge myself. And I am next level, not just physically, but 4.0 Ashley is now more mentally stable and figuring out what I want to do, challenging myself. So
that's exactly it.
Just signed up for.
You signed up without me?
No.
Oh, for the half marathon.
The half marathon.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you sign up without me, we're gonna be talking.
So can I go into that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I texted you the other day, and I was like, "Listen, do you think I could run half marathon in 2 weeks?" And you were like, "Easy with your eyes closed backwards." And I was like, "I mean, I yes, could I run it? Yeah." But I have a friend at work who is training to run for this. And sometimes he'll come to me and you know, talk to me about it and explains, you know, well, I didn't run today, I didn't run yesterday, but I did run the other day.
That's the justification, right?
And so, but she keeps coming to me for what I have figured out wasn't motivation, but a little bit of keeping her disciplined. And I finally just was like, "Hey, are you still doing this?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, I signed up. I'm going to run it with you. I don't like to run. Figured that out very well with the high rocks training for 3 months. I don't like to run doesn't mean I'm not good at it. But I don't like it. So now I have to do it. So when you talk to me about challenging myself or how do I get to that next level, I don't like to run, so I'm not giving myself an opportunity to stay there. I'm forcing myself to run. I'm doing a half marathon, and I'm okay with it. So what I've noticed is when I am forcing myself to do something I don't want to do, guess what's happening up here? I want to do it. I'm getting excited. I'm like, I'm going to run a half marathon, not, I'm running a half marathon. And now I'm doing it.
Why? Like what, you hate to run? Because people ask me this all the time. Why did you do that if you hated to run? Even my mom, I love her to death. She's like, I just don't feel like I have that gene in my body to do the thing that I don't want to do. For you, what does it give you that it's worth pursuing and seeking out? Because it's not fun, but there has to be some payoff to it for you to want to do it, even if you don't want to do it in the meantime. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So give me that.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. And again, I can just talk for myself in my terms and what I get out of it. And I'm sure other people do too. And there's other ways they can say it. But for me, I get, holy crap, you just challenged yourself and didn't allow yourself to negotiate. You stepped over a boundary that gave you an opportunity to be proud of yourself, to push yourself, and it's a win. It's a win mentally. And again, I keep going back, like the physical things are fun, but having a strong mental stability is so important. And if I can do this and if I can accomplish this when I don't want to do it, I don't want to do this, what else am I capable of? What else can I do? Like, this is insane. Now I can go for that interview. I'm still going to be nervous. I'm still going to be scared. I don't know if I prepped enough, but I'm still going to go for it. I'm gonna, I wanted to start a business, but I'm scared. I'm scared to fail. I'm scared to do this, but I just did something I didn't want to do. Now I can. It's that mind shift. And again, it doesn't come overnight. It's challenging yourself even on the smallest things. So now my mental challenges are bigger. Okay. But I'll go back to when I started, it was just waking up every day at 5. That's it. And my first challenge was do it for 2 weeks. That is how it started. If I am capable of forcing myself to do something so small, just waking up and going downstairs and working out, man, like it sets you up. So then you accomplish that. Okay, well, let's get nutrition set. Let's figure out what I'm doing there. So now I've already accomplished this. Now let's go to the next set. Okay, I did this for 2 weeks. Now look, now I'm 4 weeks in, and I've already accomplished so much over those 2 weeks, 4 weeks. And it's you have to start with those small challenges.
Yeah. That's so good. So there's a book that I'm reading. It's called The Mountain Is You. Have you read it, Ash, yet? You would love it. You
sent it to me when you're on the flight.
On the flight? Yeah. I was like, yeah, we're going to do something with this book. So I'm not that far into it, but at the beginning. And there's this one aspect to it where it talks about like how to get out of denial. Because a lot of times we're in denial of, well, it's not that bad. So then we keep doing the same stuff that doesn't serve us. But it has this last part. It says, the greatest act of self-love is to no longer accept a life you're unhappy with. It is to be able to state the problem plainly and in a straightforward manner. And it talks a lot in this chapter about how we'll make justifications of why we shouldn't change. Well, this is going good in this area, so like I'm really not gonna change in this area.
I'm not rocking the boat on that.
And when we live in that denial, it can feel really good, but it doesn't serve us. And what I've seen from you be so big for you, but for your family too, is you're putting action towards actually building that self-love for yourself versus just hoping that it comes. And I see this every single day where you seek out the challenge. You seek out, well, let me do 2 more reps because I want to stop at 20, so let me do 2 more, okay? And you seek out those daily decisions. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is it is a daily decision. Just as much as Ash talked about building this momentum and she's doing high rocks now and doing a half marathon, has all these big goals, she started out with, okay, wake up at 5 a.m. and get your butt downstairs to go work out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it, you know? And so I think that was such a beautiful summary of it, of really building that quote unquote self-love, because I think a lot of people get it wrong nowadays, which goes back to the beginning of what we shared about, you know?
Self-love is you would think it'd be so easy.
Mm-hmm.
You really would. And you said something about social media.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, I was posting thinking I'm helping other people, but I caught myself realizing I was more seeking validation. And I never thought I was like that, but I caught the bug of, oh, who's seen it? Who's commented? And then I went, what is that benefiting me? And that's just me and my perspective of how I am about myself. And I was like, oh, so I very rarely ever post anymore. And it's not because I don't want some people to know, but also I've become very comfortable in keeping things to myself. And yeah, there were times like the High Rocks thing, man, I was so proud. You know, I wanted to share that. But for me, I caught that little bug of needing that self-validation. Yeah. So I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. And I think I took like a month, blocked it on my phone. I was like, bye.
That's good though.
Well, and you don't always get the positive things that you think you're going to get. And of course it's fit to what you start really paying attention to. And then you go down rabbit holes, and it's like, I mean, even with High Rocks, I was just watching a few things. Now it's all High Rocks. I was like, okay, slow it down, IG. I don't need this much.
You're very self-aware though. And that goes back to our conversation of the thoughts of accepting the bad thoughts as fact versus us identifying those thoughts and be like, ooh, I don't like what my brain's coming up with. So let me form a better thought and let me talk back to that thought. And that comes with a first level of self-awareness where you might not be to the point where Ash is of talking back to yourself yet or building that voice. But that first step is becoming aware what's going on in your noggin. Yeah. Ooh, those thoughts are really not that great. Yeah. And it's not something to like, oh man, I'm such a terrible person that I have all these bad thoughts. No. A lot of times they're not even your thoughts. And not to pull in the spiritual side of it, but what would the adversary want to do? He'd plant those thoughts in your brain. He'd make you give up. He'd make you quit. He'd make you think, well, you're not Ash, so why are you doing this? You know, like all those dumb thoughts that we believe. So first identifying and then build them. And sometimes you have to audibly say it to yourself, not just in your brain of like, you can do this. I've seen you do this. I do this all the time. Of like, all right, come on, whatever you want to say to yourself there. And building that belief in yourself is incredibly important because like you said, it transfers to your work life, to your home life. And there are hard aspects of life. There's curveballs, there's challenges, there's things that you don't want to deal with, but you have to deal with. And what I've seen from you is because you're seeking out that physical, mental challenge, it doesn't necessarily make life easier circumstantially, but it allows you to handle it better. And I've seen you do that through and through. So I think that's really cool.
I appreciate that. I still have my faults, right? I still have those moments where, and I guess I just want people listening, like, it's not, it takes a lot to get to a point like where I am. And I'm not, physically, yes, it's been.
She's a beast. She lifts heavier weights than me sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I've been doing this for 10 years. She's been doing it for 3. I got to pick up my training a little bit.
You're 20 pounds lighter.
And you're 20 pounds lighter than me.
But it didn't start 5 years ago. Yeah. You know, and it takes a long time to break habits. Yeah. And it's not habits you've maybe even instilled in yourself. It was things that were instilled in you. Yeah. And you may not even realize that these aren't the things that you truly believe about yourself. These are things that you either somebody said, they were pushed into you, or, you know, there is a point in your life when you kind of take a step back and you're like, I don't actually feel that way. So breaking that, it's a process, and I am still going through it. I told you this yesterday. I was like, you know, there's times I'm in the gym, I've had to walk away and cry because you hold so much sometimes. I mean, I'm lifting heavy weights, I'm squatting, and I think one day you were like spotting me, and I literally just racked it and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like,
She good?
I'm over in the corner and I lost it,
Yeah.
because your emotions can sometimes take over, and when you're physically doing things, they release.
Right.
But man, I felt so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to talk. I didn't need to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to cry. Just like I tried to cold plunge the other day and I couldn't get in. I looked at you and I was
We
like,
have to
I'm going to
overlay
cry
that
right
video
now.
too.
Like, just get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's good, Ash. I'm going to bring it back because I know they're going to kick us out pretty soon. I got to get you to West. But one thing that's also been really cool to see in your journey of, like, there are those evolution of yourself, right? Ash 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. And it can be easy for people to see 1.0 and be like, oh, I don't ever want to become her again. She's like not the version I am today, almost in a very negative light, versus you've done a good job in appreciating those different versions to get you to where you want to be here and continuing to. Doesn't mean you ever want to go back to those versions, but they've all served their purpose to get you to be the woman that you are today.
You got to go through them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You got to go through them. You have to go through an evolution of your own journey. If you don't, you're not going to reach 5.0.
Yeah.
You have to go through 1.0, which is grinding it out. It's discovering some things about yourself that you didn't think were possible. It's discovering things about yourself that you're like, you don't like. Mm-hmm. There are aspects of yourself, through your journey of whatever it is, to get to that next level, you got to go one by one. Mm-hmm. You can't go from 1 to 5. Mm-hmm. Because part of the growth is experiencing the hardships, the downs, and the struggles and the challenges, because that's what's going to build you to be capable of withstanding the 5.0 Ashley. Mm-hmm. You have to go through that. That's what's going to build you up. You have to challenge yourself. You just have to, because the person who you are at 1.0 is great. You're still great because you've challenged yourself. Mm-hmm. Same with 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're just a better version of yourself. Yeah. And you've given yourself the opportunity to frickin' grow. And then you can move mountains. When each level, you can move mountains. Yeah. You just gotta give yourself the opportunity. That's it. You have to believe in yourself that you are capable of being the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. In whatever aspect that is.
Yeah. So good. Okay, last question. I want you to think about yourself, Ashley, waking up on that first morning to go down to her basement at 5 a.m. Okay, I want you to put yourself in that frame. Mm-hmm. There's two frames with this. And I want you to say one thing that you would tell her now. Okay, wait. And then I want you to put your frame 5 years from now, when you're the High Rocks champion. Yeah. And I'm looking at you. No, but that Ashley that you haven't even met yet. Like, she's another level that she's going to listen to this podcast. Mm-hmm. Be like, oh, I remember, that's so cute when she said those things. But it's just another level, right? Yeah. What would you first say to that Ashley day one, 5 a.m. in her basement with a video?
Well, my first thought was way to F and go, because you got up. You started your journey. If I could speak to her now, you're doing something that's going to move mountains for you in the future. This is the start of the journey you are more capable of than you'll ever imagine. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm going to be president or, all of these major things, but even the small wins to me are freaking huge. Mm-hmm. So I'm proud of you. That's good. And I think for me to hear that is the biggest thing ever from anybody, to hear I'm proud of you, because you have no idea the things it took to get here. 5 years from now, ask me that question again.
Yeah. So you are 5 years from now. What is it? 2025? 2030. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. 2030. It's another level of you. Yeah. Deeper emotionally, deeper physically, deeper spiritually, deeper relationally. And you don't even know all that's coming for you in the best way possible. Yeah. But what would you tell her right now?
You did it. You overcome. You stuck to it. You didn't negotiate with yourself. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of you. Both ways. You did more than you ever thought you could. I don't know. That's a really deep question. I'm sure that there would be others, but honestly, it's...
You're going to text me about it at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
Probably.
tonight.
I'll sit back and think about this. But no, this is authentic. You're
That's
asking
good.
me, and I'm just giving you my immediate response. You never gave up on yourself.
Yeah.
And you didn't let anything get in the way of the potential that you have. And again, outside of the gym, professionally, personally, whatever, you didn't allow yourself to stay stagnant and uncomfortable. You continued to push yourself. I'm proud of you.
You said the same thing, just in two different versions. You said, I'm proud of you, is the theme for both of those. And you never gave up.
No.
And I think that is a beautiful 2 lessons to give to those listening, whether you're a mom, not a mom. I don't care who you are.
I forgot people were going to listen.
Plot twist. It's good. That means it was good. But
I was in it.
Be proud of you. But also, proud of you doesn't mean negotiate with yourself.
No, not at all.
Proud of you means keep the promises to yourself.
Yeah.
And then also, you didn't give up. You're going to have road bumps. You're going to have days that you want to give up, but you didn't. So I think that's beautiful.
Listen, I think just to end it off, because I know we're going to get kicked out, but for people who are listening, just push yourself a little bit further every day. And that's it. And it's just those small wins that give you even the smallest bit of a confidence that you need just to keep pushing. Can I give you an example? Okay. So today you were helping 2 lovely women at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
They're great, squeezing butts. Kelsey does a great job of working on mind to muscle connection. And I remember doing it with you, and it didn't work. I could not get my muscle to connect for like 3 minutes. And for me, in terms of things like that, I find the quickest way, sometimes the most odd ways of figuring out how to get that to work. But you would like put your thumb on the muscle and push the muscle. And you were working with them this morning as we were kind of in between splits, and I look over, and God love her though, she had her whole hand on her butt. And it wasn't moving, right? You could tell she was trying, but it wasn't moving. And I just thought, I remember being in that moment, not knowing how to do this. So let's just run over there, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, take your thumb, put it right here. She's like, yeah? And I was like, yeah, all you need is your thumb. And just put your head and in your mind, you want to push your thumb out. All you gotta do is touch that point with your muscle.
Boom. Thank you.
And you could literally see it. And she went, just that. Like, that's one of those moments where I did it. Even they could be so small, but it's good.
Such a good one. It's so good. Man, we could be 3 hours.
I'm telling you.
We need to do a YouTube video us in the morning training. If you want to see this girl dance, just wait for it. 5 a.m. That's so good.
Just don't give up on yourself.
Yeah, no, that's good, Ashley.
You're so capable of so much.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Yeah. You've been one of the coolest, you're a cool human, but it's been one of the coolest blessings in my life to see you grow to this extent. And dude, I know you're just getting started. So like that, I got to keep up with you now, which is amazing.
Hey.
But I appreciate you. I appreciate not just what you do every morning, but who you are. And you give me, encouragement. Like, you'll text me out of nowhere. You and Soph are very similar people, where you'll just text me and be like, I'm just so proud of you. And that means so much to me. But you challenge me, which is, it's just the biggest blessing. Like, I can't slack off because I know you're going to be there. And you won't let me slack off during it. And that's the beauty of having those people in your life consistently that you're around. So I just appreciate
you. But not everybody has that.
I know.
Not everybody has that. Sometimes they just have to be the ones to advocate for themselves.
Right.
To yourself.
Right.
I mean, this is all a game of just you. It's nobody else. And second what you say and did of that, like, I am blessed because you do challenge me. But you challenge so many women. Even though I have the privilege of being able to work out with you in the morning.
Oh, okay? You hear that? I'm going to pull that tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
I have the privilege. And it wasn't always like that, though. Yeah. I secretly compete with you on everything.
Oh, me too.
And you know that.
We're very similar.
Every time we are working out, we are challenging. Like today, man, we were doing some lunges, but
I was this close to going up to the end of it. Yeah. I thought you were talking about that.
Anyway, but yes, I just got to say this before we end. you are impacting so many women. You know, when I came to you, it was just, I just need help. I got to a point where I needed to get to a gym. I didn't want to go to a gym.
Yeah.
I was terrified. Got in the gym and you helped me with that. I didn't even train with you for like the first year, I don't think. And you know, you're giving women confidence to step out of their comfort zone. You're giving young girls confidence and experiences. You know, with XYL, I had a brain fart there.
You did a good job on that.
Thank you. I know. I was like, wait, I'm saying with X I'm starting to glitch here. Okay, with XYL, because I want to say this, but with XYL, you, I mean, you really put some thought into this with giving women, giving girls an opportunity to challenge themselves in a way that they didn't think they could. That's what it's about. And having that experience, I hope that you know the impact that you have on people. Like, you really do. You challenge women in so many different ways and showing them that they're capable of so much. And it's not just physical aspects, you know, within your faith, within how you talk about mental health and how just in general, Kelsey, you're an amazing human, and you're rocking it. You're doing your thing. You are 5.0 Kelsey right now. You got some stuff to do. Yeah. I know you do, but yeah.
We need to give a big hug across the thing right now. No, I receive that, and I appreciate that more than you know.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Of course. All right, crew. Thank you for the love fest at the end. No, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. I know that y'all got value from this. Ash, I know you're private on Instagram. I'm gonna make you go public eventually. What's your Instagram if people were curious, wanted to give you a, hey, this is what I got from this podcast, or had questions? Where do they reach you? I'll put it in the show notes. She has no idea.
I don't really know. I think
it's Amicon.
I think
something 3. I'll put it in the show notes. Anyway, love you, Ash. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I personally would love to hear what's the one valuable thing that you got from this, because I know there's been multiple. So message us on Instagram, whatever hers is. Mine's at Kelsey Lensman. And just continuing, if you got one thing, seek the challenge daily. Like, make the decision daily. Don't wait and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Seek it today. And when you gain that momentum, game over, baby. All right. Love y'all. Have an amazing rest of the week. Go kick some butt.